welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's a whole lot that you need to download. Let me see, TikTok. Let's see if
How much time we got?
Yes, let's see if the time would be enough. But let me start it from here. You've been in Ghana for a very long time.
12 years now.
Exactly. I know you from Action Chapel.
Yes,
I know
my
you from
cousin is
exactly.
Archbishop. Yes.
Yes, your cousin is Archbishop. So that's how come I know you, especially when you started Relevance.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's how I know you.
Wow.
But tell me, so in reading about you, you were born in London, grew up in Barbados in the West Indies.
My cousin is the Prime Minister. Mia Motley is my family.
You are joking.
Yes.
Okay.
Very proud of her.
Congratulations to her. So from Barbados, then there was Michigan.
Yes.
And then there was some part of Chicago as well.
Yes.
And then finally Ghana.
Yes.
You've lived everywhere.
I even lived in LA for 1 year as well.
You
yes.
did.
Yes.
Tell us about it all. I want to soak it in. I
Where
want
should
to
I
understand.
begin?
Okay, so let's begin from how you have two dads.
Yes.
The McKinney part
Yes.
and the Hammond part.
Yes.
Let's start from there.
Well, my father is George Hammond. He founded Merchant Bank here in Ghana. He met my mom. They were both students in London, so that's how I came to be.
Ah.
My mom then married an American. So the McKinney is American and the Hammond is
the
Ghanaian.
But how do you carry both? How did it happen? Because originally, the Hammond must be your surname. So
Well,
how did it happen that you have both?
Actually, it was Michelle Branker. It was my mother's name. And then we didn't know where my dad was. They broke up.
Oh, they did.
And she sent me to Barbados to live with family in Barbados.
Okay.
And then she married an American. We moved to Michigan.
Right.
And I had one picture of my daddy, George Hammond, and I just thought he was so cute. I wanted to meet him. And one day my aunt was taking a tour of Africa.
Okay.
Okay. And Ghana was one of her stops. And so I said, can you find my dad? I really want to meet him. And my mom said, all I remember is I used to write to his mom in Accra.
Okay.
And so when she checked into the Golden Tulip, which is now the Lancaster, but it was big in that heyday, right?
Very big, very big.
She asked, had they ever heard of a George Hammond? She asked the bellman. The bellman said, yes, madam. He brings his clients here every day at 5 for drinks. So that was the miraculous reunion. She called the bank and said, I'm your daughter's father. He was so excited. He was on the first plane to America, and we were close until he passed on in 2010.
That was a miracle.
Yes. A major miracle.
But yeah, a major miracle, but quite easy also because of who he was. I mean, if he was the leader of the bank, then it must have been quite easy to find.
But what chance would she check into that hotel and ask that question? I mean.
And then it was just like that.
Yeah.
That was a huge miracle.
Yeah.
God has been on your side from inception.
Oh, yes.
You are a blessed woman.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So tell us, how was it growing up in London? Where in London did you grow up?
Well, I was there only until I was 2.
Oh.
And then I went to Barbados. And I
Okay.
was in Barbados until I was 7.
Right.
And then I moved to the States. So I've had culture shock 3 times and been through 3 different accents.
Describe it. Describe it. Let's know. Because you're speaking all the... Okay, you could even talk Atu. Could you speak Atu?
Yes, I had a British accent when
Atu.
I landed in Barbados.
Okay.
And so they'd give me money to talk because they just loved my pretty accent. But by the time my mom came to get me, I was talking rank B, Jan.
Oh.
So she said, what happened to your pretty accent? I said, well, I've been living on this island.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my journey. And then I moved to Michigan, and that was really a culture shock.
But not just yet. How long were you in Barbados for?
Until I was 7.
Oh, so that was 5 years.
Yes, I went to school there. Yes.
You remember? Tell us some of the memories.
Well, I lived with my grandmother. I was sent to live with my aunts, but they moved to America shortly after I arrived. So I lived with my grandmother. My grandmother was partially blind, and my grandfather was legally deaf. So it was very interesting. But they had a full life, and my aunt had a little shop on Bay Street where she sold little biscuits and drinks, and I would go there and help my uncle pour drinks after school.
Right.
It was quite an idyllic life. I loved my life in Barbados.
I see.
Yeah.
I wish I was there. It's one island I want to visit.
It's very much like Ghana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Very, very much
We have a lot of similarities, even the temperature.
The food, the temperament of the people. I always say that the boat from Ghana went to Barbados and the boat from Nigeria went to Jamaica. The temperaments of the people, the diet.
The same.
Yeah.
The weather.
The weather is the same. It's lovely.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I mean, Cheryl Lee Ralph, one of my dear friends, she was here recently, and she said Ghana was like Jamaica.
Yeah.
So we had a whole argument about if it was more Jamaican or Barbadian.
Right. I watched the interview. And I picked a whole lot from there. Wow. I see. So then we can say that the most part of your working life was now in America.
Yes,
because I remember you spent a good 15 years with Burial Communications.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
That was very exciting.
Tell me.
And probably one of the highlights of my life. But I went there straight out of school. It was an all-black advertising agency, the biggest one in the country. We serviced Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Schlitz, Legs, Pantyhose, Johnson Products, lots of big blue chip accounts.
Right.
So it was very exciting. I was hired as an art director because I studied commercial art in school, but I always liked to write poetry, songs, things like that. So one day I couldn't find my copywriter, so I wrote my own commercial because I wanted to use Ray Parker Jr. in radio for a Coca-Cola commercial. They said, "Oh, you're a writer." I said, "No." They said, "Yeah, you're a writer." So they took my writer away. So from then on, I was a art director, writer, producer. And so I ended up in the studio with famous people singing jingles, everyone from New Edition, you name it, Al Jarreau, Aretha Franklin, all these famous people, Earth, Wind and Fire. So I learned all about music from my job. The studio part, that part I didn't know. I just sang. So I ended up singing on jingles and doing voiceovers as well as my other work.
Sheesh.
And we would fly to LA and New York and produce big fancy commercials.
So that was the life.
It was, you know, and it was so much fun to spend everybody else's money. For one commercial, I went $850,000 over budget. Can you imagine? Yes, it was this fabulous commercial in New York with all the top black models at the day for Ford Motor Company, and it was amazing.
Where's all the money?
All the money went into the production. Okay. Yeah, you actually know where your money goes there.
Exactly. now I understand. Now I understand.
Yeah.
So let me get it. Okay, so 15 years in communication and advertising in America. So why did you want to move to Ghana?
There's a little
what happened to you?
Well, what had happened was I left advertising.
Okay.
I always wanted to write a book. And my mentor encouraged me to do that. Actually, Burrell fired me and rehired me twice. So in the middle of all of that,
what did you do?
I was just very precocious. I liked having my way. And the client started listening to me more than the president. He said, "This is my company, not yours, girlfriend." I was like, "Okay."
And they sent you home the first time.
Sent me home, and all the clients were like, "Where is she?" So they brought me back. And then I behaved myself for several years, and actually had a very good career, won tons of awards for my commercials there, over 30 awards I won. And then they were having cutbacks. And so my boss literally told me, I dreamt I was being let go. And I think it was just God pressuring me to move into ministry. So she called me into her office just like in my dream and said, "It's been a really hard decision, but I'm going to have to let you go. And I'm telling you why I'm letting you go, because I think you're the most likely to succeed if I let you go. I think you have a lot of dreams and you've grown comfortable and you'll never do them if I don't let you go." So she let me go, but I still worked freelance for the company after that. But that gave me, then I got hit by a car. And
what?
Yeah, I got hit by a car. I was in bed for a year and a half. I had to learn how to walk again and everything. So I wrote my first book in bed in the hospital. Yes. And it was a bestseller. It sold 12,000 copies in the first 3 weeks.
What's the title?
What to Do Until Love Finds Me. Finds You. What to Do Until Love Finds You.
But love wasn't finding you in the hospital bed.
Well.
So how did that come about?
Well, I was at home and I had always, when I came to the Lord, I struggled a lot with being a Christian single because I always had a very active life before that. And now I was trying to walk the way God wanted me to walk. So that's what the book was all about, because I felt there was nothing in the marketplace that addressed the needs of singles who were Christians that wanted to do it God's way. So that's the book I wrote based on biblical principles and sharing my own stories.
And
so 43 books later,
you sold how many copies again of that book?
12,000 copies the first 3 weeks. And the publisher was frantic because they didn't anticipate it. So they ran out. And all these orders were coming in. And they were like, "Who is she? She's an unknown author. How did this happen?" I said, "I'm not an unknown author. Jesus wrote the book."
God was speaking to you. To people through you. Many people needed that message at the time.
So I became the golden girl in CBA, which is Christian Book Association. Right. I was one of the first Black authors they ever had. That was even before T.D. Jakes wrote his books. So they were like, where are the Black authors when I would go to CBA conferences, you know? Right. So I really blew up, and everyone was after me for books. So I'm on my 43rd book, which will be released in September.
Say what?
43 books later, here I sit, yes. So I have a book coming out in September. Thank you.
Okay. No. So then, no, wait. Communications, became an author. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have the calling of God on your life.
Yes.
So at what point did the Holy Spirit inspire you to start singing?
I always sang. My first love was theater. Okay. I actually wanted to be an actress and a singer. And I got accepted at Juilliard, and you know African fathers. My dad said, no, get a real job. So I put that to the side, but God brought me full circle back, training me in the studio with all the superstars. Right. I mean, to sit there and look at Aretha Franklin singing, or Peabo Bryson, or Earth, Wind and Fire, you learn. Right. You learn what to do. So it was all training. I feel like I was I used to call me Josephine. Okay, so because that was the type of life I had. Yeah. So even after I had that accident, then people started calling me to speak when my book came out. Okay. So I've spoken at Creflo Dollars, T.D. Jakes, Eddie Long, all of the large ministries in America and in England and Nigeria as well. So I never saw any of that coming. The Crystal Cathedral, KICC in England, Jesus House in England, Jesus House in Nigeria. So I've been around the world, Rivers in South Africa. So God,
I've been to that church.
Isn't it amazing?
It's an awesome church.
Awesome.
I love Rivers in South Africa.
Wilma and Andre are amazing. Yeah, yes.
They are. That's why I call you the global citizen. You've been everywhere, done that, everything. You've been involved in it. So tell me, at what point did Ghana ring a bell? Why did you move to Ghana?
Well, I used to spend every holiday with my dad here. If he was ill, I would come. Oh. So I was already coming back and forth. Okay. And it's really amazing. At 21 was the first time I came to Ghana because, of course, we were separated for many years, reunited. And so I finally came to meet the rest of my family. And my grandmother was a praying woman, okay? And I was named after her. So Ayodele is
I was going to ask you about that. Yes. Because, so there's a Nigerian part to you as well.
Yes.
Ayodele. That's your Nigerian name, and that's your grandma.
Yes, she was part Nigerian.
Lord Jesus, looking for somebody who comes from everywhere in the world. That is Michelle McKinney Hammond.
The best parts. Okay, so I came, and I just believe it was her prayers that brought me to the Lord. Right. I went back home, and I had a boyfriend I was living with, and we had an argument. He went to Los Angeles. He was shot and killed, and that was my journey towards Jesus because I started questioning eternity and all of that. And that's how I came to the Lord, was looking for God after that tragedy happened. But my dad passed away in 2010. Okay. And I thought I was coming to just set his affair in orders and come back home. But he kind of dumped his life in my lap, so to speak. And I was flying back and forth every other month, handling his stuff, handling my stuff. And I was just exhausted. And in the middle of a conference, I just said, God, what do you want me to do? I don't know anymore. Right. And I heard him say, move to Ghana. Clearly, like clear as a bell. Wow. And I said, Satan, I rebuke you. No, what is this, Because Ghana really wasn't on my list to live permanently. I loved it for vacation, but my life was in America. So I said, Lord, I'm going to need a sign from you if that's really you. So I got to work the next day. Yeah, it was because that was a Sunday. Monday, I go into my office. My accountant says, this just isn't working anymore. Wow. I'd had some things happen in the office. She said, if I were you, I would move to Africa, not do anything for a year, and find out what God wants to do with my life. She wasn't even a believer. She was a little Jewish lady.
And that was God speaking that was God.
Yes. So that was my confirmation. I said, okay. 3 weeks later, everything that I owned was on a container. And me and my 3 dogs were on the plane, and we've been here ever since.
No jokes.
I haven't looked back, and I haven't been sorry. I love my life in Ghana, and most of my dreams have come true right here. I wanted to do television and radio, and I've done that here. I've gotten to work with Shirley Frimpong.
I was just going to say, you've been an actor as well.
Pascal Amanfo gave me my start, and I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for the people I've met here, the life I get to live here. you know, I've just never felt closer to God or to my sense of purpose. Relevance is getting ready to get a distribution deal, so we'll be traveling and singing all over the world as well.
Superb.
And so we're just excited. We're excited about life.
A clear example of obedience
Yes.
is better than sacrifice.
It's true, because, you know, when God tells you things, sometimes they sound so weird and you go, no, that wasn't in my plan.
Right.
But if you just do what he says, and he distinctly said to me after he said, move to Ghana, I'm not going to tell you what's waiting there for you. This is an act of obedience for you. This is an Abraham trip. You'll see when you get to the other side. And I trusted him, and I did it, and he's always good. He's better than good.
It just confirms what a dear friend of mine has always been telling me. I love her so much. She says, if it's God's will, then it's God's bill.
Yes.
That's what she says
and
all the time.
And he did. He financed the whole thing, that's for sure. Yeah.
Wow. This is too much inspiration for me. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I know we are not even done. So let's talk music. How many people have you been able to work with down here? Which musicians have you put up an album, an EP?
Relevance has 3 CDs.
Okay.
You know, we did an original Easter cantata. I think that's the one you saw.
Exactly.
In action.
Yes,
and we've
Action
also
Chapel.
done one
Yeah.
for Christmas.
Right.
So I'm trying to actually make those into productions that
Okay.
we'll travel and do.
Right.
I'm trying to get Sarkodie to do something with us.
Hello, the highest. You have a missed call right here. Michelle is calling you.
Yes.
Okay.
So that I would really love to work with him.
But you've met him before, right?
I've met him in passing,
Okay.
and I've made a call,
Right,
you know.
right.
I was at the VGMA Awards, and it was just such an amazing show. And it just inspired me all over again.
Right.
You know, our music is a little different from what you
Right.
usually hear in Ghana.
Right.
So it's really an international sound, because we mix rock, jazz, reggae, and Afrobeat together.
You call it rockspiration.
Yes.
That's how you call your type of music. I wanted you to explain that to me. Rockspiration.
Yes, yes.
So what are the elements in rockspiration?
Well, the elements are the music elements are the mixture of rock and
Okay.
Afrobeat and reggae, and we do like different. We have a very eclectic sound, but then everything is biblically based. So
Right.
everything that we sing about is a scripture that we've retooled for the music or
Right.
telling a story. Like, I'll give you an example, because we do really strange things. Like, for Christmas, we have a song called Rachel Weeps.
Okay.
You know the prophecy about
Exactly.
Rachel
Rachel,
weeping.
yes.
And we looked into the scriptures, and we saw that Moses was stowed away in Egypt to come back to save the nation.
Right.
Jesus was also stowed away in Egypt to come back to save the world.
Right.
And both times the prophecy rang out of Rachel weeping for her children. So that's the type of thing we do. We really want people to think. The reason we're called Relevance is because we want to make the word and worship relevant to people. And so what we do is we really take a look at the scriptures and make it something that people can grasp, understand, think about God, and hopefully draw closer to him.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Fabulous. I told you, I hinted you that your time won't be enough. There's too much to download, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. I think we need a part 2. What do you think?
I think
we
so.
need a part 2. We need to get into your life here in Ghana, how many lives you've been able to impart. You're still very single, correct?
Oh, very, very. I'm single,
It's
single.
a choice, your own choice.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't met that person I want to spend the rest of my life with, honestly.
It's been 12 years in Ghana, gentlemen. Like all the men. How possible though? 12 years in Ghana, you haven't met that one gentleman.
I actually haven't really met anyone here.
Okay.
The men in Ghana don't talk to me. I don't know.
They
It's
don't
kind of-
talk to you.
It's kind of interesting. They say hello, but
And then they just pass
yeah,
by.
yeah. And
Maybe
that's
the
okay.
glory on you is overpowering, but I'm sure he's preparing that special somebody.
only the right one needs to apply. I
In
don't need
Jesus'
20
mighty
men,
name.
only one.
In Jesus' name. But you've got 3 daughters, I'm told.
Well, yes, I have adoptive daughters.
Yes. What are the names?
Tega
Yes.
is my little daughter that she's, and then Faustine, and then I have sons as well.
Oh, you do?
Christian, yes. You know, the Bible says, "Sing, O barren woman,
Right.
you have so many more children than she who is married."
Exactly.
And since I've been in Ghana, I have sons and daughters, and it's just wonderful. My life is very full.
Too many of them. She's everybody's person, and we all go to her. Michelle, it's been amazing having you.
Thank
I'm
you.
not done with you. I'm not done sapping everything out of you. We definitely have to have a part 2 sometime. But Michelle wants to sing. Is it respiration you're going to sing for us, or jazz?
You know what? I'm just going to do something a cappella since I don't have my band here. Is that okay?
Great. Oh, band, you didn't do well. You should have come with Michelle. But anywho, it's okay. Michelle, so we're going to go in this corner.
Okay.
This is a special place I've prepared for you.
Okay.
So you sing something melodious, something sumptuous for us right here on Today's Woman. She promised to whip up a little something before we went on the break, and she's just about to do that. Michelle, but before you sing for us, what's your favorite Ghanaian meal?
Oh, jollof, of course. And I love wache.
Oh, you love wache too?
And I love red.
Oh my goodness.
I love everything. I love eating.
Are you serious? You love food?
I love food.
So that's your jollof, that's your wache, and that's your red. What's your favorite Ghanaian drink?
You know what? Palm wine.
She loves palm wine. Are you kidding?
From Aburi, I have to go there and get it.
So that's where you go to buy your palm wine?
Oh, it's lovely. It's so fresh and so lovely.
Girl, you've been living the life here in Ghana. I see. What's your favorite color?
Purple. Here we are.
Oh.
You got the memo.
I got the memo. Where's your favorite place to hang out here in Ghana?
You know, I went yesterday. I had some friends here from America, and we went to Aqua Safari and took the boat ride.
Okay.
And I just absolutely loved that.
It.
But
wow.
There's so many great places, though. It's hard to pick on any given day.
I see. It's a beautiful country.
It's a beautiful country with a lot of stuff, and I love Cape Coast.
Right.
So I'm heading there this afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's the weekend, so of course, why not? Anyway, so who is your favorite Ghanaian musician? Sarkodie. No wonder you want to do something with Sarkodie.
Yeah.
Listen, Angel Town, baby, he's the man to look for when you want to get through to Sarkodie. So Angel Town, this is a missed call from me to you. After this show, I'll ring you up. We have to do something with Sarkodie.
Yes.
How about the female musicians? Who's the best one for you?
Oh, I love Miss V. She's so cute and just positive, and I like her a lot.
Miss V. Okay. All right. I think I'll end it here. Sneakers or heels?
Sneakers for me.
All day, any day,
car
right?
accident, knee. Yeah,
exactly.
I love heels, but I can only look at them now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what's your go-to apparel when you want to feel comfortable?
A boo-boo, of course. I live in boo-boos.
No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder.
I have a fashion line. It's all easy breezy pieces. This is one of them. I like.
What's the name of the fashion line?
MMH Collections.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't know about that, but congratulations on that one. Okay, let me see. What's the next question I could ask? Rain or sunshine?
I like rain because it makes you sleep.
Okay. She's a sleep baby. It's okay. No problem at all. I wish there was a whole lot of time to go through it. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay. Bread or croissant?
Bread.
You're the bread girl.
Round breads on the way to Cape Coast.
Those are your favorite ones.
I will eat all of them. Yes, I love that bread.
You are a foodie.
I live for that bread.
You are a foodie.
I am.
I see. Make sure you grab one. You're going to Cape Coast this afternoon, so make sure you grab one.
And abodo, I love that.
You love abodo as well.
Yes.
Ma'am, you're full Ghanaian. Hello.
Yes, even my dogs are full Ghanaian now too, because they also like it. They eat it from me. They see it. They're on me until they get their own little piece.
You are joking. Do they have Ghanaian names?
No, none of them.
What are their names? What are the names of the dogs?
There's Layla. Layla came from Chicago.
Okay.
But the rest of them are Ghanaian born.
Right.
Simba, Coco, and Sasha. And Sasha's pregnant. So maybe I'll give her babies Ghanaian names.
Okay, please do.
Okay.
Yes, give them Ghanaian names and let's see how that goes. Well, Michelle, if you're all ready, I'm all ears. All the ladies and everyone else watching us out there, we're all ears. Let's listen to some good melody from the one and only Michelle McKinney Hammond.
And this, I hope, will inspire people based on our conversation. I wasn't
Right.
planning to do this song, but I'm going to do it a cappella because I think it kind of sums up our conversation and
right.
will encourage others.
Okay.
It's
Take it
called
away.
Beauty for Ashes.
All right, take it away.
One thing I've learned, life goes on. The music ends, I'll sing another song, and I will exchange beauty for ashes. I will exchange beauty for ashes. The scars will heal, new wounds will come, for such is life. You learn to overcome, and I will exchange beauty for ashes. I will exchange beauty for ashes. Praise for pain, laughter for sorrow, darkness for light, my today for tomorrow. Some things you can't explain. This is where I make the great exchange. My faith for your silence, my questions for your presence. Some things you can't explain. This is where I make the great exchange. Your blood for my sin, your stripes for my brokenness, my faith for your silence, my questions for your presence. The light will dawn, the rain will cease, and I'll move on and find my peace, and I will exchange beauty for ashes. I will exchange beauty for ashes.
Michelle McKinney Hammond, you've just mellowed me right now.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Thank you for answering one of the questions I did not ask you, because I wanted to ask you what you do in your low moments, but you sure do exchange beauty for ashes.
Yeah, that's when I write my songs.
Right.
That's the time that they come to me. Really.
Right. And when that particular music ends, you sing another one.
I sing another song.
Wow. Goes to say that no matter what it is that you're going through in life, you don't give up.
I never give
up. You choose to be on the positive side of life. Listen, when that good music ends, nobody says that's the end.
Right.
You can start another one.
That's right.
Correct?
You can start another one.
Wow. And you can afford to always stay positive because it does pay off.
Yes, it does.
Michelle, thank you.
Thank you.
One more time for coming this afternoon. God bless you so much. It's been
Oh,
inspiring.
God bless you.
It did exactly what it was supposed to do right here
Oh, good.
on the show. We invite women like you on today's Woman to inspire, encourage, uplift, and tell other women that it is possible.
Yes.
And I am blessed by you because you listened to the voice of God. You obeyed. It was obedience. You obeyed. You moved to Africa.
Yes.
And everything has been beautiful ever since. Not to say that you haven't experienced challenges.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But you know what? For me, every setback is merely a step up
Exactly.
to your next. You know, I believe that God trains us through those setbacks. But if we tend to look at them negatively, we get stuck. But if we make a decision, oh, I get to overcome. Difference. I get to, as opposed to I have to. Because when I get to, I see all my options.
Right. Right. We needed you today. Thank you
you.
so much for coming. I've been touched, and I'm sure you out there have been touched also. Thank you so much for sticking and staying